somebody
Somebody's about to join us.
All right, who it is?
You better call your mama.
Somebody call his mama. He's only an hour and a half late, but I just want to introduce you, Ernest the Cat Miller, Norm Rumack, the broadcasting lead. I guess I shouldn't say on top of you, but whatever. Ernest, how you doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
he doesn't have his ears on right now.
Oh, then I could call him out and say we want to have a match. Remember back in the go ahead.
Hello.
There he is. It's the cat.
Hello.
He's finally there.
Can you hear us?
Who that little pretty girl look like Eric?
That's your niece, Tiana.
Yeah. Hey, Tiana. Hey, Tracy.
Thank God I was going to say Norm Rumack.
Tracy, she look like Eric did when Eric was young. Come down there.
Right. When he was in the basketball camp.
Oh yeah. What's up, Trace?
What's going on, Cat?
What's up, Joe?
Nice for you to join us, Cat. I know one thing. Hey, Joe is in full heel mode right now. So you might have to pull up. No,
I can't be in heel mode when the cat is on. But here, I'm going to ask Trace, are you going to go to Vegas to witness WrestleMania in person with the cat? Since I'm paying out of my pocket to send the cat to WrestleMania. He's got a booth. He's going to sit with Tom Brady, who's going to screw Cody Rhodes and everything like that. Tom Brady has announced today that he will be at WrestleMania. He will be. He told me personally, he's scared.
Oh, he told you.
Yeah, he's scared to miss.
Joe, calm down, bro. Calm down. Right. We gonna be there. We gonna let you get all your stuff in. We gonna let you get it.
Okay, I can relax here now.
Now, is Tom Brady gonna really be there?
Yeah, he announced he's gonna be. Remember, he's part owner of the Vegas Raiders, and he will be. He's a big closet, like Vince Carter, Trace, big closet wrestling fan, closet wrestling fan, and he has.
Hey, like who, Joe?
Vince Carter.
Vince Carter wasn't no closet. He let everybody know he was crazy about
wrestling. For a couple of years, he was a closet. Norm tried to bother him all the time. And he goes, go have a Starbucks on me. That's what he said. So, Ernest, are you coming down to Vegas?
You know I'm going to Vegas, man. Why are you asking that question?
So hold on. I'm going to ask Trace. This WWE Hall of Fame, shouldn't Ernest the Cat Miller be in the WWE Hall of Fame?
No question. He's the cat. He made you call his mama. He was out there with James Brown, putting foot in asses. He pulled out the red shoe and he took care of business. He's the first person I've ever seen run to a corner, jump to the top of the doggone corner off the turnbuckle, jump off and kick somebody in the head. He brought a different type of athleticism to the game. You got to put Cat in the Hall of Fame.
Even Hulk Hogan was a big fan of the cat, right, Cat?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Hogan, I like Hogan. What about you, Tracy? How you feel about Hogan?
No, Hogan always been cool to me. You know,
me too.
He took care of my cousin Gavin. So I'm never going to have anything bad to say about Hogan. We were on a couple of chairmen of charities, Blue Review McMillan Foundation up there in Toronto. We're chairmen of a golf tournament up there. I'm never going to have anything bad to say about Hogan.
Listen, I want to see Hogan back in the ring. I want to see him back not in the ring to wrestle, but I want to see him back in the wrestling. You know, because he kind of bridged the gap, you know, for me to see him doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're talking about WrestleMania 41. And when we talk WrestleMania 1, Hogan was in the main event. Hogan was always in the main event till I believe WrestleMania 9 or 10. And a lot of people talk about Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they forget about Hogan. He actually made wrestling very popular, right, Kat?
He did. Yeah, he did. Hogan, Andre the Giant. I mean, it was like a circus back then, and it was something you really wanted to watch because you didn't know what was going to happen and how it was going to go down.
And I spoke about the Hall of Fame, but did you know, guys, that Norm Rumack's favorite wrestler was Typhoon?
Who?
See, it's his favorite wrestler that he forgot about. All right.
Why do you keep setting Norm up, man?
I set him up perfectly. Now the cat.
I'm telling you, Cat.
Yeah, Joe.
Hold on. No, seriously, I gotta do this promo. I gotta do this promo for the cat. You can see and hear the cat's show, the Cat's Corner, he's been having killer guests like Alex Wright on here on the Fired Up Network. Cat, who else do you have on here? Yeah, Dust Wonder.
Man, listen, the only name I like to call right now, but has a lot of superstars, a lot of great people on there, but one of them was Tracy Murry. Tracy Murry, I can't believe he did me that favor and came on, man. We had a great conversation, man. And Tracy, we got to get you back on there because it's some people, they want to hear number 2. They want to hear that second go around with you, Tracy.
Well, Cat, you already know. Whenever you want me on, I'm on. You already know. It's always an honor to be on Cat's Corner.
Wait, hold on. What about Norm Rumack on the Cat Show?
Well,
why you messing with Norm, man? Hey, you better leave Norm alone, man.
I stunned the cat. He doesn't even want to invite you on. Come on.
Yeah, Joe, I'm hiring Tracy Murry as my professional personal bodyguard to deal with you.
All right, enough. All right, the cat. Let me ask you.
No, I think you need to hire the cat.
Exactly. He'll get his red shoe up your ass. Come on. So the cat. Let me ask you this, Cat. What are you looking forward to the most for WrestleMania in Vegas? And by the way, I got you a nice hotel room and everything like that. So I expect a good report there. No drinking, just good reports there. You and Godfather and tell them with Mark.
That's just like me telling you no eating donuts.
I don't eat donuts. Donuts.
All right. Well, whatever.
I've been. You know what? I've been trained, saying my prayers, eating my vitamins. Listen to the Cat's Corner here on the Fired Up Network every week, where we want special guests like Tracy Murry. I want Vince Carter on here. There's so many guests that you got to get on. You got to watch and hear the Cat's Corner. All right, but what are you looking forward to for WrestleMania, Cat?
Man, I'm just looking to enjoy myself, see a lot of good friends. I got to say this, but then I hate saying it sound bad. But I don't watch a lot of wrestling.
What?
I don't watch a lot of wrestling. I hear about it. I hear about it from friends and people that watch wrestling, and every now and then I'll catch one of these young guys, man. They looking pretty good.
All right. Cat,
I just don't have time to sit down and watch every wrestling show.
We need to get Cat on an episode of LFG.
Yeah, that's right. With Bubba Ray and Devon.
Yeah, I think Cat's insight and his experience with these youngsters, I would love to see his interaction with some of these youngsters on there trying to make it. Because he has a lot of knowledge to give, and he's a cool head, but some of these dudes are a little different, and Cat can humble them pretty good in a funny way. I would love to see that.
I mean, he doesn't get enough credit. Like, honestly, all kidding aside.
Hey, I don't need any credit, man.
No, I don't need credit.
I don't need nobody kissing my ass.
All right, Trace, don't kiss his ass.
No, right? Trace ain't kissing my ass. That's just a friend that's just telling the truth.
I'm saying the same thing. I'm saying the same thing here, Cat. So you've been to so many WrestleManias. How many WrestleManias have you been, Cat?
You said so many already. What, you trying to set me up? I've been to at least 5.
All right.
I went last year. But this one right here, I think it's gonna be the biggest, the largest. Ain't no telling what's gonna happen on this WrestleMania.
Yeah, because whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right, Cat?
What are you talking about? What's going to stay in Vegas? What are you talking about?
That's right.
Him and his slogans, man. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Stays in Vegas. I know it.
As long as the cameras are on, it ain't staying in Vegas.
All right. So
Cat, Joe, are you coming to Vegas?
I'm not going to Vegas because I paid your ticket to go to Vegas.
There he go, healing, trying to be a bad guy.
I'm not a bad guy. That's actually a very good guy. Trace, tell him. I spent $5,000, which is equivalent to $3 Canadian, to get you a hotel room, to get you and Trace, he doesn't know. He called me. Make sure you have this water, and make sure you had this bread, and make sure my shoes are washed and cleaned and everything like that.
Sounds like you and not him.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that.
Hey. So, Cat, I think you need to get your red shoe, bro, because he's a little bit out of control today. I think you need to have your red shoe on real soon.
So
Tracy,
seriously, Cat, let me ask you this: out of all the guys you saw so far interviewed on the Cat's Corner, again, you can see it here on Fired Up Network, who's the one guy that surprised you that you didn't know about, and who's the one guy that you want to do an interview with that you haven't done yet?
man, I want to get Rey Mysterio on here. We had some good times, had some good story back in the WCW, and every time we see each other, it's like we haven't missed a day. So right. I know his story. I know what he's like. I mean, I just know a lot about him and I think I can get a good story out of him.
All right. What do you think of his son, Dominic?
I don't really know his son. You know, I don't know. He seemed to be doing pretty well. He's doing good. He's making a name. That's all you can ask for in the business. You go out there and you carry the load when it's time for you to carry it, and that's all you can ask for him. And he seemed to be doing pretty well. He's doing a good job.
So
I tell you what, with Dominic for a second, for somebody to be new to the business and like be close to the number one heel in the business, you're doing something right, because you don't just become a heel right away, and you know they normally try to keep you babyface for a while, and he flipped over quick.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. I mean, he carrying the title. He's doing good, man. I really enjoy watching him.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a question for the Cat. See, I knew you were going to come on here. It's from Patricia. Who was your best opponent ever in wrestling?
Perry Saturn.
Perry Saturn.
Yes.
Why? Why was he the best?
Because he was a mean, you know what, and he didn't. I mean, but he was so good in the ring and swift. He kept me on my toes.
All right, for that matter, I don't know if you're going to say this, but I have to go there. Who was the worst?
Disco Inferno. Disco Inferno.
Why was Glenn Gilberti the worst?
Say that again.
Why was he the worst?
I mean, he just kind of goofy, kind of clumsy. He's a happy-go-lucky person, and that was fun. It was fun, but it was hard for me to work with him.
Okay, so
I couldn't keep the smile off my face.
I'm going to ask you.
Hey, Joe, I've got a question for Joe. I got a question for Kat. Okay, Kat, it's nice to meet you. It's an honor to be on the same show with you. So
nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. So, Kat, usually, the wrestlers are great athletes. You have to be a great athlete to be a wrestler, to endure the workload and the pain and whatnot. Were there, before you got into professional wrestling, were there other sports that you thought about playing or trying to play at an elite level before you came into the wrestling world, or at the same time?
Man, you know what? I did a few of them, but what I really wanted to do is I wanted to play basketball. And I think every football player in the NFL across, the first love is basketball, And but these guys was like, I was 6'2", and these guys was like 6'7", 6'8". There was no way I could ever get into that. But that would have been something I would have chosen to do before wrestling. If I could, I tried to talk Tracy into giving me a tryout on his team.
Well, you're going to talk me into, I'm trying to talk you into a tryout of being a karate champion like you, or maybe playing in the NFL like you. Can I do that?
But hey, Tracy, basketball, I don't know why, but basketball would have been something I would have wanted to play. Man, think about it. Basketball players, when you see NBA players, they're so cool. You get to see their face. They look good on the court. You know, they run up and down the court. They playing everywhere. Football players, you got a helmet on. They don't see your face. You know, and then wrestling, you know, anything else, man, they cover it up. You know, but basketball player, man, it was a heck of a sports to play, and all the pretty boys played basketball.
Oh, so you're saying you're a pretty boy?
I am a pretty boy, but I had to wear a helmet. I wanted to show this pretty face, shooting that jumper from the left corner. And I wish I had a game like Tracy Murry.
See, he wanted to be Ernest Miller and not Dirty Red. You know what I mean? He didn't want to. Yeah, you know.
Tracy, come on, man. How many football players do you know that love basketball?
All of them.
And some of them can really play.
All of them were pretty decent too. Yeah, I mean, I used to watch football players play in the intramurals when I was at UCLA, and they used to destroy everybody that they played against. And a couple of them tried out with us. Carlton Gray and J.J. Stokes was about to play for us, and Terry Donahue told them no, they're not going to play. He told them don't play. But they were going to make our team because Carlton Gray played basketball in high school in Ohio, and J.J. Stokes played basketball in high school. They were going to make our team.
Now I've seen basketball player, I've seen football player play baseball. You know, I've seen that. Yeah. I've seen the double sports like that. I've never seen a football player play basketball or basketball player play football too. In both leagues, the NFL and the NBA.
I've seen one come really close, and that was Tony Gonzalez. He came really close.
Did Tony play in the NBA?
He came really close. He was in the summer league. He was in our summer league. He was on my summer league team. So he came really close. He played with my cousin up at Cal, Lamont Murray. He played with Jason Kidd. So he played D1, and he was really close. But there was no way with the way the seasons came together, there was no way that he was going to be able to play football and then play basketball.
Hey, Dion did it. Dion played baseball and football, and they season kind of intertwined, you know? I remember he played in a football game. I think it was a playoff. Then he had to get a plane or helicopter to fly and play in the baseball game.
And Bo Jackson did it as well. And then you had Danny Ainge played for the Blue Jays.
Yes.
And the Celtics. So he did it as well. That's the first basketball player that I saw go in another sport. The only one, really.
And who was he?
Danny Ainge.
Now, who did he play? Yeah, who did he play?
He played for Blue Jays, a third baseman.
Toronto Blue Jays, and then the Boston Celtics. He was on that. Wow. He was on the team with Larry Bird. Larry Bird.
No, I know who he is in basketball, but I never knew he played two sports, baseball.
Yep. Toronto Blue Jays. Yep.
So, hey, Kat, I got one more. Kat, I got one more question for you. Of all the professional sports you've seen and watched or been a fan of, and speaking as an athlete yourself, which one physically do you think is the most demanding, is the toughest to play? And I'm just throwing that in because, you know, you've probably seen more than a few hockey games as well. So of all the professional sports, and including wrestling, which one is the physically takes the biggest toll and is the hardest one to survive in?
Survive. Wrestling. And when I say wrestling, I'm not talking about professional wrestling. I'm talking about the university, college kind of wrestling. Man, those guys work like animals, man. Have you ever seen those guys, Tracy, Joe? These guys push. They got to have cardio. They got to have muscle. They got to eat right. I mean, they got to train. The training, you know. So I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was in the 12th grade, 11th grade, I was an All-American linebacker in high school. Everybody was looking at me, but I was kind of small, and I didn't like to lift weights because I did karate. So my head coach said, "Listen, the best way for you to get stronger is to go out and play go out for the wrestling team. I said, what? He said, you can run track and lift weights and stuff. But I think if you went out for the wrestling team, I think that'll make you work and get physically stronger overall. So I went out there one day, and there was always one guy I would see who was on the wrestling team. He was, let me tell you something, he was a straight A student. He was quiet, didn't mess with nobody. He just carried books on his arm, and he wasn't no guys with the long arms, the short with no neck. But he never bothered anybody, just real quiet. So anyway, I guess when I got there, they put me up against him. The coach said, okay, everybody line up with somebody. They put me up with him. He was real quiet. And I was all-American linebacker with a big mouth. I thought I was going to smooth my way into that. Bro, let me tell you something. When they said go, that guy tied me in a knot. And when he tied me in a knot, I didn't know what to do. I've never been controlled like that. Pulling guards come at me as middle linebacker, and I just shred them off. Running back come at me, I just take them down. But this guy had me in a knot to where I couldn't get up. I couldn't do nothing. The only way he let me go is when I said, hey, man, let me go. So he turned me loose. He turned me loose. I went and got my books in my bag, and I got up and I left practice. I never went back to pro wrestling again.
Hey, I got a comment about that real quick. Alvin Robertson from the original team. He played at Arkansas in college. He was also a college wrestler.
Oh,
I don't know if you guys knew that. Alvin Robertson, my teammate with Toronto, was a wrestler, a college wrestler, and he was tough. He was tough.
And wrestling, I keep telling you that college wrestling, that Greco wrestling, that's the hardest sport you can be in because you train so doggone hard. Basketball, I think when you run up and down the court, it's look like a lot of running. I think it's a lot of punishment and beating on your body, your knees and hips. So you can't really run that much, right, Tracy?
We did, but it's required. You gotta run, in that sport. So you have to train in the off season, for that grind during a long season. So
Tracy, Trace, do you agree with Kat about wrestling being the physically most demanding, toughest sport of all the professional physical contact sports that you're familiar with?
I agree 1,000% with it, because it's more than just running. It's more than just tackling and being subbed in and out for. You got to go, and you got to go for. You're going against somebody that's relentless.
Exactly.
They're continuously going. Your cardio and your strength and all of that has to be high. Yeah, I agree with him 100%.
Look at track. If I ran the 100, I'm running against other guys who probably think they just as fast as I am. But if I'm faster that day, they let me win. That's not like that in wrestling. I'm going against somebody who's trying to pin me down, trying to turn me over, trying to do a lot of things that I don't want done to me, and I'm fighting that. So it's like if you're an athlete, you giving it your all on everything you do.
Okay, so let me ask you. All you guys got one guy, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar was a wrestler, was a phenom, UFC wrestling, and a football player, everything like that. But I'm going to go around the table. You're watching the On the Mat Wrestling Show here with the Cat, Ernest Miller, Tracy Murry, the long range bomber, and broadcasting legend Norm Rumack. I'll start off with the Cat. What was the greatest word or advice you got from anybody before you started wrestling or basketball or football or anything like that? What was the greatest advice you got?
I'm gonna just stick with wrestling because that's what that's what I'm talking about right now. The great advice I got was from a senior wrestler, somebody who had been in the business a while. And the first thing he told me is say, hey kid, save your money. And I was like, I've made money before. What did that mean? He said, just save your money. Just because you're making it, you don't have to spend it like you're making it. And that was the best advice because once those checks start rolling in, you something makes you just want to spend. But I've always, every time I would get into that spot, I would always hear his word, save your money.
All right, Trace, the same question to you.
It was, if you're going to be in this business and you're going to chase it with all your might. You know, you only have so much time in this sport. If you're going to chase it with everything you got, because it's a short-lived career.
All right, Norm.
Yeah, I guess the best advice I ever got was from my father and mother, but it was about just in life in general and about pursuing goals. So I knew when I was 9 years old I wanted to work in front of a microphone. And it took me a long time after graduate school at Syracuse to get my career going. I mean, it was a prestigious school. So even with a good degree or great degree, a master's degree from a great school like Syracuse in broadcasting, I didn't get on the air until I was 37. I mean, that's what you call a late bloomer. But I took my advice from my parents, and about never quitting and never giving up. And as my dad would say, if you can't get over the mountain, get under the mountain. You can't get under the mountain, go around the mountain. And thank God I had great parents who also told me very well. They said, if you got one or two friends in the world, then you've done very well. And the other thing they said that was kind of like a benchmark to remember for all of us as we go through life's and ups and downs and peaks and valleys and all that was just in general, but I think applies to all of us at one time or another more often. The other one was life isn't fair. Just remember that. You'll have great times, you'll have bad times, but life isn't fair in terms of how it works out sometimes. And those things about having, one or two real friends and about life isn't fair, thank God, and about never quitting. Thank God I had great parents like that. I miss them so much, like we all miss our parents if they're gone, right? So thank God I had great parents to teach me important things about life, the real important things about life.
What about
All
you,
right.
Joe?
What about me? It's been the cat. Somebody I wish I could call my mom. I'll put it that way. His claim to fame was somebody call my mom. I wish I still could have called my mom, and for that matter, my dad. And like Norm said, it's if you have one or two friends, I would like to say it. Two friends right here are like Norm talked about in the other show. Tracy Murry he was a basketball player, but I think he's an even better person. And the cat, even though we joke around and all that, this guy is character, and he didn't get. And I'm gonna say, Cat, I know you're gonna give me crap, but I don't care. He didn't get the break that he should have gotten from WCW. And if you're WWE, how do you take the cat, who's a karate champion, who's a wrestler, and put him as an announcer for years? All I'm going to say is Jim Ross. That's all. All right. So we'll have the last comments here. Norm, tell everybody how they could get a hold of you, because the cat is hungry and it's close to his feeding time.
Well, I'll say it's been an honor being on the same show with you, Kat. Joe's raved about you for a long time. So pleasure to meet you and to speak with you. And Tracy and Joe, I include you guys amongst those friends that I was mentioning. You have one or two friends. So Tracy, you've always been supportive. Sometimes we may not speak for weeks or months, but the sign of a great friend is when you speak with someone, you can still have a great conversation, even if you haven't been in touch on a constant basis. So that means the world to me. And Joe's been a lifesaver for me. Always believed in me, always propping me up. We're like brothers, we take shots at each other. We have a lot of fun. We have some good laughs. But it's because of Joe that I got to know, Tracy really well. On the wrestling roundtable, we used to have a lot of fun. And it's because of Joe I got to meet people like Kat. And so I'm grateful for my friends, but I just wanted you to know, Tracy, especially because we don't sometimes speak for a while, that you're a straight shooter and you've always been supportive of me, and that means the world to me. So thank you so much to both you, Tracy, and to Joe.
First of all, Norm, address him properly. His name is Ernest Miller. All right? I'll address him properly. Okay? Acknowledge him.
All right, Ernest.
Stiller. All right? That's number one. All right? Trace, you go next.
I'm just happy to be on here with everybody. And I look forward to the next time. And Big Cat right there, that's my brother. I'm always elated and have an extra bit of energy when Cat's around, you know. So I definitely enjoyed this one because it was a surprise to see him pop up on the screen. Joe, Norm, you guys know how we do it. We've been doing it for years. You know, it's always fun.
All right, Kat, you got the last say here. Remember to check out the Cat's Corner on the Fired Up Network. Go ahead, Kat.
What were we talking about?
We're kissing your ass. That's how you love it. So go ahead.
Listen, man, listen. I'm thankful to get up to do anything that I'm doing now. And right now, I'm talking to three great guys, man, and I'm really enjoying just this minute, just that we are all here, and I could say that I really appreciate you guys. Norm, I know I just met you, but you sound like a real nice guy, and I appreciate you being here and allowing me to spend this time with you.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm honored, Kat.
And to close it out here, you've been watching the On the Mat Wrestling Show Night 2 preview of WrestleMania 41. Also, a happy Passover to everybody out there, especially to Norm, who's supposed to eat matzah, but he wants to take me over to Harvey's, have a beautiful hamburger and everything like that. And this weekend, Kat, you're in Vegas, but it's also Easter, so happy Easter to everybody out there. And Kat, I'm going to ask you this right now, okay? You know the people, Triple H going to be inducted in Hall of Fame. Also, Lex Luger in Atlanta, DDP, who's your close personal friend, training him. How happy is it that you see another guy who, you know, like Scott Hall, who made him walk again and everything like that, see another guy like Lex Luger go into the Hall of Fame, and he you know, he's going to be inducted by DDP. Should have been inducted by Sting, but I have to call Mr. Khan, Tony Khan, to give him a piece of the cat's word here. But go ahead, take me through the Hall of Fame with Lex Luger being inducted and Triple H also.
You know, I kind of watched those guys before I ever got into wrestling, man. And once I got in and was able to work with those guys, I really appreciated the time that we spent together. And I think he really deserves it, man. And I hope this kind of impact his life to where he can feel somewhat complete, you know? And especially starting out where he started, then where he ended up at, and then he had to pick himself back up and go again. So anybody got the courage and the strength to do something like that, man, they deserve every good thing that they could get in their life. So I really appreciate watching this dude get up and go again, Big Joe. Just like I tell you, Joe, no matter what happened to you, it happened to everybody. I had to go through losing my mom, but the one thing about it, get up and pick it up and keep going.
Well, if you're going to come on the show like once a month or whatever, I guarantee that I'll lose 3 pounds. Okay? So yes or no, are you going to come on once a month? Well, I'll even have to bring Tracy out. So I'll bring Tracy out. Are you going to come on this show? Not the Cat's Corner, this show.
Nope.
Thank you. I expected that. Thank you. And the cat, Ernest Miller, who never, you know, tell him the truth. Tell him the truth, Cat. He doesn't want to come on the show because he knows I could take that red shoe, turn it sideways, and stick it up. Never mind. But,
yeah.
And Cat, tell everybody how they could get a hold of you social media wise. All right. I knew he's going to do that too. After I give him 150 plugs for the Cat's Corner.
You'd have already said it 10 times. You know, I mean,
why not 11?
The Cat's Corner podcast, YouTube channel. I mean, I'm on social media. If you want to talk to the cat, just hit me up on social media. Or hit Joe, and Joe will hit me.
Yeah. Norm, if you want to talk to the cat, hit Tracy, and Tracy will hit him.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan.
All right, Trace, tell him how to get a hold of you social media-wise.
On Facebook at Real Tracy Murray, at Instagram at Real Tracy L. Murray, and on X at Real Tracy Murray.
All right, and Kat, one last question since Tracy's here and we got the start of the NBA playoffs. who do you think wins the NBA title?
Man, listen, everybody hate on me. My family don't like me anymore because I'm not going for the Hawks. I'm not going for that. For some reason, man, I'm just a Lakers kind of guy, man. For some reason.
You and LeBron. You and LeBron.
Not just LeBron, man, but I'm just.
Oh man.
I mean, it's
drinking that sauce too.
Tracy, come on, man. I mean, they putting together some good games, man. I want to see what old Bronny gonna do now that every game count. So he gonna put something together.
All right, and
they got a hell of a coach, Tracy. A hell of a coach.
Tracy, any comments on that?
What you got to say about the coach? I know you'd have played against him. You know him. What you got to say about the coach?
I didn't get a chance to play against him. He's too young. I think he's doing a solid job with them. I just don't think they have the pieces all the way yet to win it. I think they're missing a couple of pieces. I think their defense is going to be lacking because when you have LeBron out there who's an older LeBron. He doesn't defend like he used to. He still can play some offense. He still can make plays, but he doesn't defend like he used to. And then Luka doesn't defend at all. I think they're gonna. That's what's gonna hurt them at the end of the day. Those two can average over 60 points together, but they're gonna have to get some stops because when they do these dribble handoffs, they dribble a handoff to go at one of those guys. So, and they will go at Luka before they go at LeBron.
All right, but Tracy, hold up, Tracy. Didn't you tell me one time that Allen Iverson didn't play defense? You said his defense. I never said Allen Iverson. Oh, yes, you did. Yes, you did. I remember, Tracy. Oh, yes, you did. You told me his defense was when somebody scored 15 on him, he scored 30 on them. That was his defense.
But I never said he couldn't play defense. My thing with him is you worried about his offense more than you worried about his defense.
Okay.
Because he gets 30 to 35 shots. So when you have to defend that, you're not worried about going back at him because he has more shots than you have.
Oh yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a little bit off balance. So like with the Michael Jordan situation back in the day, people feared how many shots he get because if he catch fire in those 30 shots, that's a 50, 60 point game. We don't get those same type of shots. I only get 10 max. So I have to hit I have to hit a good amount of my 10 shots in order to get 20 points. He gets 2-3 times more shots than I get. So that can be a 50, 60 points on you, and that can be embarrassing.
So what about Luka? He get the same thing, right? He get as many shots as he wants, right?
Share those shots. You got to share them with Luka.
Okay.
All right. So Norm wants to ask
Austin Reeves got to get his too.
Mm-hmm.
Austin, we got to get shots too. So
Norm has texted me. Trace, Norm has texted me with Ernest, and I think this is a very good way to end it off here. So Norm wants to know that he's the biggest leaf blower in the world. Is this the year for the Toronto Maple Leafs to win the Stanley Cup? Norm says yes, he's the biggest leaf blower. So Trace, since you played in Toronto, since you're sort of a Canadian and all that, and if you're right, Norm says he'll buy you a steak dinner. If you're wrong, you will buy Norm 40 steak dinners. So go ahead.
Don't put me on the spot. I don't watch hockey like that. I have to listen to Norm on this one.
All right. Ernest watches hockey. Come on. Ernest watches hockey. Atlanta has a hockey team in 1985. But go ahead, Ernest. Do you think the Maple Leafs will raise up Stanley after 1967, the last time they won?
And that is a possibility. Let's just see what they do. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say they're going to raise up and do anything. Let's just watch and see what they're going to do.
That's the same, Cat. There you go.
Yeah.
They have never won 3 rounds in the National Hockey League. That's the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have never.
You don't look like you've been around. You don't look like you've been through 3 rounds either.
I've been through. That's Pat, man. I've been through so many rounds here. And by the way, we got to get a new sponsor of Molson. All right, I've been so many rounds. All right, so that's Tracy Murry, the long range bomber, Norm Rumack, the broadcasting legend, and that cat, Ernest Miller, who you can watch and hear every week here on the Fired Up Network with the Cat's Corner. Who's coming up on the Cat's Corner as we close it out?
You know what? I'm working on to see who I'm going to WrestleMania. It's going to be a lot of stars around. So ain't no telling who I may pick.
All right, so there's going to be a lot of stars. I'm going to, do me a favor, because every time this guy's ducking me, I challenge Braun Breaker to an eating contest. I'm challenging him to an eating contest. Braun Breaker, can you tell him that the guy, Jolton Joe, the president of the province of Canada, the mayor-elect of North America, soon to